What's up, everybody? Reality has left the chat for a lot of people already. Honestly, I'm already to the point where I can tell by a thumbnail if it looks too good to be true, too extraordinary to be real. It is. Sorry, but if you've got a wolf pup, and the wolf's paw is in a trap and a guy is right there next to that, it ain't real. But here's the scariest thing about this is as I've noticed these, I've clicked on them to record them to eventually make this video. It's been a couple weeks, but since I've clicked on these, then now it feeds me more of these. And there's a very large percentage of the people in the comments that think that this is real. They don't know that this is AI. And so the more they click on these, the more the algo feeds them AI. And these people are going to be in fantasy land before long. They have no clue this is AI, and now they're walking around thinking, oh, well, I saw a wounded wolf get rescued by a kind-hearted man. So these first few with the animals and everything, if you're like me, you're going to spot it right off that it's just wrong. But then it's already taken directions that I didn't see coming, like tearjerker stories and stuff like that. So this is terrifying, and we're just getting started.
My name's Alex, and I live in Montana, United States. Out here, nature isn't just beautiful, it's alive. And sometimes, it needs a little help. One cold morning, I found a wolf caught in a metal trap.
Okay, sorry, I'm going to go ahead and stop this one. If anybody thinks that they are going to go up to a wounded wolf caught in a trap with a cub right next to it and it will be grateful for you letting it go and it'll just lay down there relieved, you're going to get eaten by a wolf. When it comes to city folks and wild animals, it's already been bad enough for a long time. People are getting mauled every day in Yellowstone. People think you can walk up to a 2,000-pound bison bull and take a selfie, and now they're seeing stuff like this and thinking it's real. And sorry, I know these are hard to read in this format, but God bless you for saving that wolf and her cub. You now have close friends and protectors for life. Alex, you are a big hero, heart, 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 heart. Finally, here's somebody that knows that it's AI, but a good 80%, 90% of the people here just have no idea. And now they're going through the rest of their life knowing that they have seen a wolf being rescued from a trap and then acting like a big puppy.
Oh, man.
Just look at how it hits the ground.
Hang on. You're okay. She's in here. She owns the place. You look a lot more settled now. Ears are cool. Breathing.
It's finally melting into it. Look at that face.
Tail going. That's a good sign. Oh, little guy.
Oh my goodness. Hi, little guy. Look at you. You're everywhere. I still can't believe it.
Hey, little ones. Easy there. They're all over me today. You're something else, aren't you?
Here we go, little ones. Fresh breakfast. Easy, easy. All right. There you go. Come on, buddy. Almost. You got it. Almost. Try again. Come on, little guy. You can do it. There you go.
Hey, look at you all coming in hot. Look at this crew. Hi, big guy. Oh my gosh, so many little feet. Hi.
So that one had a lot of cuteness to it, and other than some parts of this just being a little too perfect, the very beginning was the only part that I can show to where I can say it's definitely AI. And some might be thinking that I'm tripping and that this was real, but that is a little too hilarious in my book. But look at all of the pigs in the trailer. Not one of them has moved at all. Not one tail waggle. The legs are just kind of sticking through the grates in places. And then that belly flop was just a little too comical. But no, this isn't real. Here's another way I've seen them using this. If you see some architecture and design that just looks too beautiful to be real, it is. Pinterest is absolutely full of this stuff now. But look, you got solid wall up here. Then they just set up a scaffold here, move a tree in, and they get to building the box here on top of the scaffold. And they're just completely building in the second stage of scaffolding up there. And they're just magically placing steps as they go down that are lit. They didn't do everything and then wire it and turn the lights on. Each individual step was put in with lights. And now they have a box just hanging off of a wall with nothing supporting it. At first it was scaffolding, and in order for that to work, it would have had to have been cantilevered from through that solid wall that I showed you at the beginning. You can't just build a solid box on the side of a wall. And then as we get in closer, not only downstairs, but upstairs too, now there are rooms on the other side of that wall. You see that room back there through the doorway? Well, it started out like this. I doubt they completed the entire interior of a new house and then added in a tree and a box nailed onto the wall and then cut open and voila, hey, there was other rooms over there the whole time. Same thing here, solid log wall upstairs, and they're just putting steps in from the top down with nothing holding them. I know that went kind of fast, but, and again, going upstairs, you see that there's now another room back there towards the back. So any of this beautiful architecture that's just too good to be true, it is. Now, this one, it's hard to say anything for sure, but I'm pretty sure it's AI. Just my overall spider senses are going off here, but the way the forklift breaks right there, watch the uprights, and it falls over and it just snaps them like a twig. I don't think that little ATV is going to do that. Plus, there's nobody driving the forklift, but I guess they could have jumped out. But I don't think this is real. I may be wrong on this one. So now we've got a beautiful albino mountain lion just pawing at the door in broad daylight and then running alongside of the car. Then he ran up on top of the hill like Lassie, just waiting for you to come on, because there is another albino mountain lion and its paw is caught in barbed wire. If I didn't know any better, I'd say that they want people to get eaten by wild animals. And I shouldn't have to look this up, but there's only been 4 albino mountain lions ever seen. But here we've got 2 of them together just playing like a couple kittens. And wouldn't you know it, they had cubs, both albino as well. So this guy has on camera as many as have ever been seen by anyone in recorded history. And there's not one single person in this comments thread that calls this out for AI. Now, here's some stuff going in a completely different direction that surprised me.
To get a thank you, and now you're suing him? You okay? What the hell is wrong? He saved your kid, didn't even get a thank you, and now you're suing him? You okay? What the hell is wrong with you?
This poor man saved a baby's life, only to be sued for $500,000.
That was a reckless rescue, and he should take responsibility for the consequences.
The incident happened in Texas. 25-year-old Jason Miller was walking down the street when he saw a baby slip through the railing of a 5th-floor balcony. He rushed forward and managed to catch the child just in time, but the impact was so strong that the baby suffered multiple fractures in both arms and legs, and Jason himself was injured. Despite the pain, Jason held on and called 911, staying with the baby until paramedics arrived. A few days later, the baby's mother filed a lawsuit against him, accusing Jason of reckless rescue.
That was a reckless rescue, and he should take responsibility for the consequences. If it weren't for him, my child would have never been hurt. Is it really wrong to ask for some help with the medical expenses?
He saved your kid, didn't even get a thank you, and now you're suing him? What the hell is wrong with you?
In court, Jason still had bruises on his face.
I think I regret it. I should have never gotten involved. I underestimated how cruel people can be.
The case sparked widespread public outrage.
They decided to sue because they wanted money, not because they cared about saving the kid.
So they're the ones who should be in jail.
After a brief trial, the judge delivered the verdict.
I hereby dismiss your lawsuit and order you to issue a formal apology to this gentleman, as well as pay $30,000 in damages for emotional distress.
Do you think this ruling was fair? Share your...
Now look, to me, this is comedy gold. That's hilarious. It was a reckless rescue. This is South Park level satire, but people don't understand this isn't real. They should be arrested for child neglect. Greedy woman should be in jail. Jason, don't ever regret saving that child. You are a hero. There's going to be people telling stories about how this dude online got sued for $500,000 for saving a baby. There are a few comments in here laughing and saying, yeah, it's AI, but I'd say 80% think this is real. But now here's the ninja
What
level
police
stuff.
discover next leaves everyone stunned. Almost every night for more than 7 years, 48-year-old Kirk Alexander placed a varied order with his local Domino's Pizza in Salem, Oregon, making his name appear so regularly on the store's screen that staff felt like they knew him personally. Then suddenly, the orders stopped. At first, no one thought much of it, but as the days ticked by, unease grew among the crew. One night, General Manager Sarah Fuller, together with Assistant Manager Jenny Cyber, casually checked the system to see how long it had been since his last order. What they discovered stunned them. Kirk hadn't ordered in 11 days. This absence was completely out of character, especially knowing his health problems had begun years before his Domino's routine even started. They tried calling him, but the line went straight to voicemail. So just after 1 a.m., Fuller asked driver Tracy Hamblin, who lived nearby and had delivered to Kirk countless times, to check on him. When Hamblin arrived at Kirk's home, he saw the TV and lights on, which was strange, but after knocking again and again, no one came to the door. With growing dread, he phoned back to the store, and that's when the team told him, call 911 immediately. Meanwhile, Jenny called the non-emergency line just in case. Moments later, deputies from the Marion County Sheriff's Office arrived. After knocking and shouting, they heard a faint voice inside calling for help, forcing them to break the door open. What they found inside was chilling. Kirk collapsed on the floor, unable to move and in desperate need of medical attention. Soon, paramedics rushed him to the hospital, where doctors believed he had suffered a stroke and warned that one more day could have been too late. Several Domino's employees later visited him at Salem Hospital, bringing flowers and cards. Though weak, Kirk smiled and nodded with gratitude, recognizing the people who had refused to let his absence go unnoticed. As the story went viral, Domino's corporate praised the Salem staff, and Sarah and her team were even rewarded with free movie tickets and a Las Vegas trip.
So this one was really well done. There's no real visual cues that set me off on this. It's a good, positive, upbeat story, and everybody wants it to be true. But look, this is some random dude posting shorts on YouTube. And he's got footage and clips like this is a 60 Minutes interview. He's got all kinds of footage that would be extremely rare for a YouTuber that had just heard about this. It also sounds like a creative writing thread off of Reddit. Did you guys notice the problems with the story? First off, they sent help over there after 1 a.m. That's pretty late. And then they said it was strange that the lights and TV were on. Which, well, I guess if you're up at 1 a.m., that stuff might be on. And also they said it had been 11 days since he had called and ordered a pizza. So if he had had a stroke and been immobile for 11 days, he would have dehydrated by then. And, you know, one story like this, maybe it's real. But this channel has hundreds of them.
Medicare wheelchair was still unforgiving. Over time, Liz felt increasingly invisible. People turned away. Some even avoided looking at her. On camping trips, she struggled to keep up with the family as her wheelchair constantly got stuck on uneven paths, leaving her frustrated and heartbroken. Her sadness reached its breaking point during a family hike when her wheelchair became trapped in the dirt and couldn't be pushed any further. Liz broke down in tears and told her family, "Just go on without me." That moment shattered Brad's heart, but he refused to accept it. And from then on, he promised Liz he would find a way to give her freedom back. Inspired by a suggestion from his father-in-law and drawing on his Army experience maintaining tanks, Brad began spending long nights in the garage to create something big. With no engineering degree, he taught himself mechanics through trial and error, even setting off sparks and small fires during his experiments. After 2 years of failures, resistance from experts who told him it couldn't be done, and countless late nights, he finally rolled out his creation, the tank chair, a beast of a wheelchair on Caterpillar treads with high-torque motors that could conquer mud, sand, snow, even the Grand Canyon. When Liz took it into the wilderness, she returned with what Brad called a 10 million watt smile. For the first time since the accident, she felt like she had her legs back, and people who once turned away now came up to talk with her. But Brad's vision grew bigger. He realized it wasn't just about Liz. He had seen too many veterans, police officers, and firefighters lose hope, even their will to live, after being confined to wheelchairs. His new goal became raising $1 million to get tank chairs into the hands of thousands of them, and he's not stopping there. He is starting a school to build tank chairs, employing disabled veterans and teaching them valuable skills. Even NFL legends like Nick Lowry and Jim McMahon are backing him, calling veterans the real.
So what do you think? I mean, it looks real. I didn't see anything in particular wrong with it. Tank chair's kind of funny. Look that up, and it's some Japanese anime, I guess. But there were no visual giveaways on this. There's no mistakes where a guy has 3 fingers or anything. But you got to ask, how's this video being made, and where's this guy getting B-roll footage of a wheelchair stuck on a trail? And it's kind of weird that she's in a wheelchair and everybody's out for a hike in rough territory. And the biggest giveaway is she gets stuck in the mud and says, "Oh, just go on without me." Like they're really just going to leave her stuck in the mud out in the middle of the woods somewhere. Come on. Then once he perfects his tank chair, he's going to get it out to the public. So he needs $1 million. So I don't know if AI is writing the storyline because this sounds like some creative writing student's idea of the world. But this channel has 174 videos since April of this year, and they're all the same emotionally charged, very unique stories. And this is like a 60 minutes production level of video. And, you know, you got to ask, where's this footage coming from? How'd this guy put all this together for his little 1 minute short? Is there somebody out here that did a long video on this, you know? But this whole style and genre of video is something that I did not see coming out of AI.
Hockey fan spots something on manager's neck during NHL game. What she does next saves his life. On one night back in October 2021, during the Seattle Kraken's first ever NHL home game against the Vancouver Canucks at Climate Pledge Arena, one fan in the stands noticed something terrifying. Her name was Nadia Popovici, a 22-year-old recent grad working overnight shifts at a crisis hotline, but she already had an eye for spotting the early physical signs of danger, the kind that could threaten someone's life. And one such sign appeared on the back of Brian Red Hamilton's neck, the Canucks' assistant equipment manager, who was sitting just a few rows in front of her on the team bench, focused on his work and completely unaware of it. Nadia noticed a mole, 2 centimeters wide, dark red-brown in color and irregularly shaped, which she believed was a textbook melanoma, a kind of skin cancer. So Nadia started debating with herself. Should she tell him? Should she keep quiet? After all, how do you walk up to a stranger and basically say, "Hey, you might have cancer"? That's awkward. But she knew if she didn't say something, it could cost him his life. So she pulled out her phone, typed a short message with big, bold letters that read, "The mole on the back of your neck is possibly cancerous. Please go see a doctor." The words mole, cancer, and doctor were highlighted in red, so he couldn't miss it. Then she knocked hard on the plexiglass, waved several times until she got his attention, and pressed the phone screen against the glass. After Hamilton glanced at the screen, he rubbed his neck. At first, he just kept walking, thinking, well, that was weird. Nadia figured maybe he already knew. Maybe it was nothing. But later that night, curiosity got the better of him. He asked his partner if she could see the mole, and she confirmed she could. So he checked with the team doctor, and sure enough, the biopsy results came back. Stage 2 malignant melanoma. The doctor told him that if left untreated, he wouldn't have survived another 5 years, and even praised that he had an angel in his life. Hamilton knew it was true, but he had no idea who she was. Fast forward a couple of months to New Year's Day. Hamilton, already cancer-free after surgery, went public with the story. He posted on Twitter, pleading with the hockey community to help him find this mystery hero. Less than 3 hours later, after the community spread it wide, it eventually reached Nadia's mom, who spontaneously responded, "Oh my gosh, this was my daughter." In that instant, the world knew the face of the fan who had saved a man with just one note. When they finally met face to face that very evening, Hamilton thanked her with tears in his eyes, and later on press conference saying, "She didn't pull me out of a burning car, but she pulled me out of a slow fire. She saved my life." And to make it even better, the Canucks and Kraken teamed up to gift Nadia $10,000 for medical school. That single bold message through the glass had forever changed the course of 2 lives.
Okay, once again, where's this footage coming from? Is this some dude that's making 60-second shorts on YouTube, going to the games here and putting in all of the legwork to get these shots? Or is this from a 60 Minutes documentary? Just this specific of footage is difficult for a small-time YouTube creator like me to get a hold of, unless he's stalking everybody's Facebook here. Next, it's just 8 foot of half-inch plexiglass there. You can yell over that. I'm not a big sports ball fan, but I've even seen players that are in the penalty box get into fights with fans that are back behind them talking smack. And then, how many of you have an app on your phone where you can write a big message to show to someone? Unless you know someone that's hard of hearing, this is not something that you would typically have on your phone, especially where you can highlight the letters in red. I mean, I have a notepad on my phone that I use all the time for materials, but it's not designed to write big messages to show to other people. And then, this is one of the tightly kept secrets of healthcare. Yes, melanoma is a type of skin cancer. It is the deadliest form of skin cancer, but it has a mortality rate of around 2 people per 100,000. So it is highly unlikely, nigh unto impossible, that a doctor would have said that she just saved this man's life. And I just happen to know this because Jimmy Dore a couple years ago, he got a little mark on him and went to the doctor and he explained the whole spiel to him. And here's an overall general tip for you. When they start telling you that natural things are bad for you, like sunlight and eggs, just treat them like they're AI slop. So yeah, the rescuing wild animals and them just being cute and cuddly little pets is huge. I get one of these in my feed at least twice a day. I have completely screwed up my shorts feed because of this. And the only reason I'm clicking on them is because I understand that they're AI and I wanted to make this video, but the vast majority of people don't understand that. And since they're clicking on these, then they're going to feed them more of these. And I really think they need to change the terms of service to where if you don't explicitly show in big letters on the screen right when the video starts that this is AI, then that's it, you're out. I don't really like the Nurse Nancy approach that a lot of people have to the internet, but this is seriously going to get somebody off. You go up to a little 13-pound raccoon stuck in a trap and you're going to have scars for life. You go up to a 130-pound mountain lion, you're going to be dinner. It's not going to be grateful. But the animal stuff is pretty easy to spot. It's stuff like this that you just have to pay attention to the overall big picture here. How did they get this footage? Where did this story come from? How do they know this? And like I said, if they got one rare story like this, okay, maybe. But if they've got hundreds of these with the perfect images to go along with the story, that would be really hard for anybody to get unless they went and actually made a documentary about it, then there's your red flag. But we're already to the point where there's no real visual mistakes with most of this stuff. And we are right on the edge of the abyss about to fall in. This is probably the first time in history we've got to the point where seeing is no longer believing. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you on the next one.